G'day humans, Chris Stead here. What you're looking at the moment is the Sony TV 2024 launch. It was an event held in Sydney. It went for about an hour or so presentation, and I'm just running a couple of videos here where I'm pulling out some bits and pieces, depending on what people are asking about, just to kind of help you decide which TV might be right for you. Now, in this particular video, we're going to pull out the Bravia 8 content and the Bravia 9 content. So we're going to see what are the differences between the two experiences, basically looking at how they differ from their previous models, which features kind of conjoin between the two, and also we're going to hear from Daniel himself on his opinion about who should buy an OLED versus a Mini LED, which is the difference here between the Bravia 8 and the Bravia 9, the key difference. So before we dive into that, there's the other interesting differences with the sound audio. So the Bravia 8 has a 56 watt 2.1 channel system inside it, whereas the Bravia 9 has a 70 watt 2.2.2 channel system inside of it. And that has a kind of a slightly different software as well. So the OLED runs Acoustic Surface Audio Plus, whereas the Bravia 9 runs Acoustic Multi-Audio Plus. Outside of that, most of the differences are related to the fact that one's a Mini LED and one is OLED. So that with OLED, with the Mini LED, you're going to get this high peak luminance, which is what the big kind of sell for the Bravia 9 this time. Yeah, we'll go into that a little bit more. And it's interesting what Daniel had to say about, what environment he thinks each TV will work best in. Now, I should also walk you through the layout of this room. Unfortunately, they didn't have the Bravia 8 and the Bravia 9 side by side, and I did most of the presentation on the Bravia 9. So you will see the Bravia 8, but they're not side by side, unfortunately, and hopefully I'll get a chance to do that down the track. But you've got on the far right of the room the Bravia 9, which is a 75 inch. In the middle, you've got an 85 inch Bravia 7. To the right of that, you've got a 65 inch Bravia 3, and then it's just off to the side, being that it's the OLED option in the range for 2024. You've got the Bravia 8 at a 77 inch size. I believe it's a 77 inch. I think that's what he said. It could have been a 65, but I think it's a 77. So anyway, that is the layout of the room, if you're wondering what all the TVs are about. So let's dive in and have a look at the way that Sony presented these two TVs ahead of doing some reviews down the track, where I could actually put it through my paces, put it through its paces myself.
I've actually got something on the TVs from here on in. 7, 8 and 9 have what's called a voice zoom. Right, so voice zoom uses our XR processor and a bit of wizardry. So this is pretty much the only time that you'll hear me say AI this presentation. But we have an AI machine learning algorithm in there which detects just the voice. And what it does is it'll allow you to amp up the voice or decrease the voice as you see fit. So I've got a clip on Bravia 8, and we'll start with at minimum. So typical household, you're watching football.
When he spoke to the media, he said that he's still learning about the game, and he's always felt that it's better to be kinder with players, never a coach who wields the big stick. Gets a response. Doesn't matter where he's been.
Well, dealing with that fella is one of the big challenges for Dortmund. Jude Bellingham, all season he's had it. All season it's not had.
This is Jude, just overrunning the ball.
Yeah, it took his time to get going this season. No Benzema, with whom he had a great relationship, but second half of the campaign, he's been absolutely electric.
So it's quite unique in that you can turn just the volume of the voice up and down. And that works with any input that goes in the TV. So be it HDMI, you're watching free-to-air, you're watching Netflix, you're watching Stan Sports, which is what we're watching. And there's a few use cases here, because generally you can only turn it up, but we allow customers to turn it down as well. So if you're watching the cricket and you want the commentary on the radio and really you don't want to hear the commentary on the TV that much, you can just turn it down on the TV and then have your radio playing in the background. But yeah, it's one of the best features for hard of hearing customers and just people that they want to hear more of the voice. They're not that invested in what's happening in the background. They just want to hear the voice. For those customers, this allows them to do that. So that's on all the TVs, Bravia 7, 8 and 9. So this is a nice segue into the OLED, which we just heard from that demonstration. All the voice that was coming, or I guess all the sound that was coming with that demonstration was from the actual screen itself. So one of the patents that we have on our OLEDs is that we actually utilize the screen as a speaker. So we've got, if you think of the screen as a speaker cone, we've got multiple speakers at the back and forward-facing subwoofers, and the screen vibrates to create the sound. So you're getting the sound from the screen and not above or below the TV. So it's quite a unique experience there. This comes in 3 screen sizes, 55, 65 and 77 inch. And again, this uses that underlay stand design that we had before, glass all the way to the edge, no plastic fantastic here, it's all aluminium, brushed aluminium. And this TV is actually 30% thinner than the previous year. So we've made it a lot thinner. Previous year, the screen was thin, but then we had this sort of bulge at the back. But now the entire TV is nice and thin, which is cool to see. Again, 4-way stand positions, pairs perfectly with the Bravia TV 8. We've got it paired up with the quad at this stage as well. And there's a new remote control for this particular TV as well, which is backlit. So yeah, it's got an accelerometer on there. You won't be holding it upside down when you use that remote control.
That's right.
So with these OLEDs, A80, A90K are replaced by the new Bravia 8. So again, that consolidation of the range that we're talking about, making it easier for customers. Slightly higher brightness, so 8 to 10% increase in brightness year on year. So you've got that. You've also got the new gaming menu, PS Remote Play, Dolby Vision Gaming, something called Acoustic Center Sync 2.0, which we'll demonstrate to you guys in a second. But previously what happened was, if you paired a Sony soundbar with a Sony TV, it would just use the TV speakers as a center channel. Now it incorporates all the speakers of the TV into the sound setup. So the left, right, and subwoofers, they all work as they should within the entire system. So that is the new Bravia 8. We're talking about that premium backlit remote.
QD OLED or Evo OLED?
Evo. Although you didn't hear that from me. Unconfirmed. So yes, it is a white OLED panel. We won't be using QD OLED in the Bravia 8. Yeah. So this is a premium backlit remote, recycled materials for that, and as you can see, it is backlit. We have hands-free voice search on all our TVs as well. Hey Google, find my remote.
Ooh! Here's the summary from Tile Tracker. 5 tips
set
for finding
someone
a
off.
lost TV remote. 1. Use a Bluetooth tracker to never lose your remote again. 2. Ask your family, friends if they moved the remote. 3.
Ask your friend.
3.
That's a good one.
End tables. 4. Check in the couch. And 5.
Okay, Google,
5.
stop.
What else fails? Check in the least likely places.
So it is.
Sounded pretty close to that.
So Tim's got the remote control there. One big thing that Tim will show you now is that has a pretty big speaker in there.
Yeah, that's the speaker at the back there that we just used to make that noise. Also USB-C connection, as you can see on the screen. So that means that you can charge via USB-C. The battery life is about 6 months, even with the backlit function. So battery life is fantastic. When the battery is running out, you'll get a warning from the TV that you need to charge your remote. The cable is bundled in the box. You'll just plug it into the USB port of the TV into here. About a half an hour charge, and you get another 6 months. So fantastic features on the new remote controller.
So it's awesome. That comes in the box with the Bravia 8 and the Bravia 9. So 2 of our models will have that new remote control. The Hey Google, I've said that. That feature, yeah, it's really handy. So typically, if you've lost the remote, you don't know where it is. It's fallen down the couch. Bluetooth Low Energy, 20 to 25 meters. If your house is bigger than that, sure. But for a lot of people, hopefully the remote doesn't get further than that from their TV. You can use any of your smart home devices that are Google to find it. So if you want to use your watch or your mobile phone, you can just say those magic words and find my remote, and it'll find it within your house. On to the flagship for the year. This is the Mini LED QLED Bravia 9. This is actually the brightest TV we've ever made in 4K. So it's a pretty bright TV. The goal for this TV was to be as bright and as color accurate as our new master monitor. So our new master monitor, which directors of photography use to edit and grade their movies, that is the BVM X3110. That hits around 4,000 lumens, and we wanted a TV that consumers could experience content that's been mastered in 4,000 lumens. So that is what that Bravia 9 is all about. So it's the brightest 4K LED TV we've ever made. It's also got a really unique backlighting system. So available in 75, 85 inch. Tim's got a portion of the back panel. Oh, it's there? Aha. Super nerdy. So, very Japanese thing to do, but we've called this the sesame seed driver. So it's smaller than a sesame seed, and it controls a grid of 4. Now that driver takes information from our XR processor and allows us to really get over 20 points of brightness, but full control over the Mini LED system. So when we had this demonstration in Tokyo, they had the panel of the TV removed, and you could actually see what was on the screen just by looking at the backlighting system. So it's really, really precise and also very fast as well. So having a backlight that's not fast, that's what the driver gives us, is completely useless. So if you've got something moving across the screen, you don't want the backlighting system to lag behind. You want it to be instantaneous, and this allows us to do it because we've got all of these sesame seed drivers in the grid, allowing us to do that. So
and that's just white backlighting?
It's a blue backlight, so it's a quantum dot backlight. So with this, it's a new TV for us, the new sound system. There are 3 different amplifiers on here. So the first set of amps control, and the first time we've had this on TV, the upward firing speakers. So that bounces off the wall and then sort of comes back and then down onto you, so you get your vertical height. We've also got 2 subwoofers and what's known as a frame tweeter. So similar to the acoustic surface technology that we have over on the Bravia 8, this vibrates inside the panel to give really high frequency surround sound. So it's, really good surround sound just from the TV, but obviously to get the best movie experience, you want to pair it with one of our sound bars as well.
Does anyone else want to hold the panel?
So this replaces the X95K in our series from last year, and so it's the world's smallest LED driver, the brightest 4K LED TV we've ever made, so it's pretty bright, and just a few other sort of key points like Dolby Vision gaming, Wi-Fi 6E, and that new premium backlit remote. So it's got a lot to love on the flagship model.
In your professional opinion,
Yeah.
which gives the best colour?
Best colour?
Out of OLED or Mini LED?
To be honest, it depends on your living circumstances. So we annoyingly don't have control over all the lights in this room. Just these 3 are meant to be outside the room, so there's a sensor for that. But essentially, if you have a living room that there's a lot of ambient light coming in, you have to fight that light. So having a brighter TV, there's obvious advantages in that regard. So if you have a living room that does have a lot of natural light coming in, I would always recommend going something like the Bravia 7 or the Bravia 9 that can reach high peak luminance and essentially be brighter than the ambient light that's coming in. So these have a color sensor in there as well. So there's a color sensor and a light sensor in these TVs. And the color sensor and the light sensor gets used in our calibration modes as well. So if you use Sony Pictures Core calibrated mode or Amazon Prime calibrated mode, which is exclusive to Sony, or Netflix adaptive calibrated mode, they'll use the color information in the room, so whatever color information is coming from both the ambient light and the lighting in your room, to change the picture quality. So that's one thing. With OLED, if you have full control over your lighting system, and you can really turn the brightness down. OLEDs, for me, are probably a little bit more versatile. The reason I say that is that I watch a lot of foreign content. So I mean, even if you watch Squid Games, right? It's really weird to watch that in dub. But if you have it on subtitles, it's good, right? And just having that subtitles, those white subtitles, be as crisp as possible with that backlighting system or the self-illuminating pixels, it makes a big difference. So again, for people that have a lot of control over the lighting system in their homes, like you can close the door, you've got a cinema room, or you can pull down the blinds. OLED's a good way to go. And if you watch a lot of foreign content, then that's also, OLED's really good. But these are actually pretty similarly priced. So the 77-inch is almost the same cost at launch as the 75-inch Bravia 9. So it's really up to the customer as to their situation. But I don't think from a premium standpoint, you're getting an amazing TV either way. They both have that premium remote, premium design, and the picture quality is exceptional on both.
Now, you use Google TV, which in my opinion is the best TV operating system anyway. How many upgrades, security patches, support?
Officially we do 3 major upgrades.
So this will be 11?
12.
12, yeah.
So they'll be supported up to Android 15. Yeah. As that's pretty much that's what they do.
And security patches?
So we security patch all the time. So we have minor firmware updates which do the security patches as they're required.